Paul Robertson is the youth culture specialist for Youth Unlimited, formerly Toronto Youth for Christ. He has 35 years of working with youth, including raising 4 grown sons of his own. Paul graduated from the University of Western Ontario with a Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Education degrees. After teaching high school for 5 years, trial by fire, Paul's been with Youth Unlimited for 30 years. His Understanding Today's Youth seminars have been presented to thousands of social workers, professional groups, civic leaders, parents, educators, pastors, and youth workers for over the past decade. Paul, I just had to download all that artillery because you're the kind of person who can comment on the relevance, we hope the timeliness of what we're doing here.
Well, I spend most of my time studying youth culture from that perspective. And someone asked this question: what is the one thing that competes more for the hearts and minds of Christian kids than anything else in our culture? And the answer is your topic this week. It's the media. I had a conversation with Ravi Zacharias not long ago, and Ravi says this, that youth and the media have become one. You can no longer separate a young person's life from the media because they're so totally immersed in it. And from my perspective, my biggest concern is how they process it. A young person's life is simply a series of questions that needs to be answered. When mom wakes me up in the morning, do I get up and go to school or don't I? When I go off to school, do I go to class or do I skip class and do something else the guys might want me to do? Is there God? Isn't there God? And what happens is when there's no positive voices speaking in their lives, which used to be the family, but with the breakdown of the family, fewer adults speaking in lives.
Everybody's busy.
The church used to speak loudly in the lives of the kids. The schools used to speak loudly and positively in the lives of our kids. Most of that is gone. What is the loudest voice in the life of a kid today? It's their media. And so what happens when Christian kids go to make a decision on whatever the issue is, they have 2 choices. They have biblical foundations that we have tried to instill in them, or they have pop culture and its media. And unfortunately, too many of them are going to pop culture media for their answers. The problem is when you have wrong information trying to base your decisions on, you're going to end up with wrong behaviors and wrong attitudes and this kind of thing. So it all comes together, and I think the greatest thing our kids need, if they're going to spend time with the media, and Kaiser Family Foundation in America says they're spending an average of 53 hours a week with the media, we need a positive voice coming out of the media, and I think that's what you are setting this up to do, is to speak boldly from a biblical perspective into the lives of our young people, and they need it, trust me.
And Paul, the parents play a critical role in all of this, don't they? Because if the parents who have concern for their kids' faith don't model faith, then what hope does a kid have? But on the other hand, if what they're watching, at least from programming from Crossroads, affirms what the parent is teaching, it's got to be a win-win.
Well, it has to, and we need, you know, we were talking in the green room earlier about what's it really like out there. I don't think most parents have a clue of the battle that their Christian kids are in out there. And so, of course, if we can have media come alongside the family and establishment of their values, their beliefs, their attitudes, and ultimately create in them a biblical worldview, we've done a great service to our young people.
My 18-year-old actually said those words to my husband, Dad, you don't know how tough it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Paul Robertson, thanks for bringing us your insight. You produce a lot of great stuff. I'm going to read some of it and comment on it tomorrow.
Hey, and guess how he came to know Jesus?
How?
A praying wife and mother-in-law,
Yes.
and that wife, wonderful wife, came to Christ through watching 100 Huntley
Absolutely.
Street.
Oh, there
Yes.
you
Isn't that
go.
a great story?
There you go. You know, we run into people all across the nation who've come to faith through this program, and that, of course, is always bottom line. Take a look at this, friends.